Hey there, I'm Kathy with the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm. Pardon the blustery day. It's one of those days I needed to get a project done and the weather's windy. So, the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm are about helping people become more self-reliant and something on a budget, you might think of. And I've also had a variety of different ideas of things that I wanted to do, and this is one of them. About 6-7 years ago, I wanted to raise bees, so I went to my local source, Glory Bee Foods, who offer a lot of cool things here in Oregon for bees. And I got myself some bees and a nice hive, but then I ended up literally only having those bees for about a season before I moved for a job to China. And when I got back, I decided to buy this particular kit, and I didn't end up using it. And more recently, I ended up finding online a cool show called Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they had featured a well-known beekeeper named Dr. Leo, whose last name is hard for me to say. But he talks about horizontal hives and catching local bees rather than purchasing bees that are seemingly more healthy for where you are. So I'm in Oregon, and I thought I'd give this a try. Since I had kind of the stuff for it, I just needed to replace certain things. I thought, why not give it a try? So I have this box, this bee kit, with the original items in it. The only thing I needed to add was one of these traps. I don't want to say trap, that's the wrong word for it. See how new I am to this whole thing. Basically one of these that needed to go in the place of the feeder. And I was able to get that at a local feed store, and the price is even still on it, for all of, $5.99. Not too scary, but I also needed to replace the bottom board because it had gotten bad and the box wasn't sitting straight on it. So I replaced the bottom board, and it was all of $20 for the bottom. When I initially got this, it was about $90 about 5 or so years ago. But I had this, and I thought, why not give it a try and try using it as a bee trap. And so in Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, Dr. Leo suggests using what you have, and in my case I had this, so I thought I'd use it. And what he said was that attracts bees was the scent of basically lemongrass oil, or the scent that bees give off, which lemongrass oil is the closest to it. And so I actually did buy this little kit from horizontalhives.com, which is Dr. Leo's website. And in this kit, it comes with a little pipette, and I want to say 10 of these containers that are slow release containers, and the lemon balm oil. And so basically what I'm going to do is, according to what they said to help this pan out, I'm just going to pipe the oil. The lemongrass oil comes in a bottle like this. Just put it in the pipette, and essentially, it smells really good. You fill up the little container about 3/4 full. You close it, and then you fill up another one. So they suggest having 2 that you fill, and that this will be a slow release to attract the bees for when they are swarming. Now, I'm doing it now because I ended up seeing another beekeeper friend locally just put out his hives about 2 days ago. So I thought, if that's any indication of what bees are doing, I might get this out now. So that's why it's March 28th here in Oregon. As you can see, it's a little overcast. But I am doing this now also where I am. I'm right under an oak tree that's been here for several hundred years. We've been on this property about 20, and I know that every year there comes swarms right through this spot. So I'm actually putting this hive on a, believe it or not, you can see there's a part of the tree right there. The tree had actually fallen late last year. So I'm just going to leave this hive right on the part of one of the limbs that fell from last August, to see if they'll just come right through. But essentially now what I'm going to do is put these two little pipettes right in the frame next to the yep, okay, got it. I put it on one of the frames on one side, and I'm going to take the other one and put it in another one of the frames a little farther down, so that way the bees can smell two areas by the front of the beehive. And so when I do that, I'll then put the hive or the queen excluder right on top, and then I'll put the top, basically the roof, back on. So now what you'll see is that this is the opening where the bees will go into. And so the frames that I put those little pipettes on are essentially right here and right about here. And while we were talking, I ended up spilling some oil right there. So with that in mind, I may get extra. But now what I'm going to do is kind of sit and wait. But part of what they said about this is that you're going to have to kind of sit and wait. So now that this is all set up, the last thing I have to do is put a strap around it so that when I move it, because once the bees come, I need to move the hive 5 miles away so the bees can get kind of reoriented, and as I understood it, kind of messes up their GPS, because if you catch them in one place, they may and then leave the box there, they may like move on. So if you move them in the trap and then bring them back, then you're better likely to have them stay. So with that in mind, what they suggested was just getting one of these ratchet tie downs, and I happened to get 4 for $11 at a local place called Harbor Freight. I don't know if Harbor Freight's in a lot of places, but I like Harbor Freight. They have good things for good prices, and it helps out. So this is a strap that I'm going to put on here, wrap it so that when I go to move it, I can have it a little easier time. But I'm also going to debate whether to leave it on this stump or actually to put it on the roof of a Suburban that's right here, so that I can have it a little bit higher up, and then I can move it when the bees hopefully come. So with that in mind, I'm going to put this on and we're going to leave it, and that's that. So if you get an opportunity to keep track of us with Gyroscope Farm online, so gyroscopefarm.com. You can also check out some other resources we have on self-reliance, including things about finances and education, and just keep up posted with our YouTube channel. This is new for us, so keep coming back. It'll be fun. I hope you have a great day.